The new god of dominion. The new gods of dominion. The new god of dominion. The new goddess of dominion. The new goddesses of dominion. The new goddess of dominion. The old god of dominion. The old gods of dominion. The old god of dominion. The old goddess of dominion. The old goddesses of dominion. The old goddess of dominion. The greater god of dominion. The greater gods of dominion. The greater god of dominion. The greater goddess of dominion. The greater goddesses of dominion. The greater goddess of dominion. The lesser god of dominion. The lesser gods of dominion. The lesser god of dominion. The lesser goddess of dominion. The lesser goddesses of dominion. The lesser goddess of dominion. The higher god of dominion. The higher gods of dominion. The higher god of dominion. The higher goddess of dominion. The higher goddesses of dominion. The higher goddess of dominion. The lower god of dominion. The lower gods of dominion. The lower god of dominion. The lower goddess of dominion. The lower goddesses of dominion. The lower goddess of dominion. The greater spirit of dominion. The greater spirits of dominion. The greater spirit of dominion. The lesser spirit of dominion. The lesser spirits of dominion. The lesser spirit of dominion. The higher spirit of dominion. The higher spirits of dominion. The higher spirit of dominion. The lower spirit of dominion. The lower spirits of dominion. The lower spirit of dominion. The major god of dominion. The major gods of dominion. The major god of dominion. The major goddess of dominion. The major goddesses of dominion. The major goddess of dominion. The minor god of dominion. The minor gods of dominion. The minor god of dominion. The minor goddess of dominion. The minor goddesses of dominion. The minor goddess of dominion. The superior god of dominion. The superior gods of dominion. The superior god of dominion. The superior goddess of dominion. The superior goddesses of dominion. The superior goddess of dominion. The inferior god of dominion. The inferior gods of dominion. The inferior god of dominion. The inferior goddess of dominion. The inferior goddesses of dominion. The inferior goddess of dominion. The ancestor god of dominion. The ancestor gods of dominion. The ancestor god of dominion. The ancestor goddess of dominion. The ancestor goddesses of dominion. The ancestor goddess of dominion. The ascendant god of dominion. The ascendant gods of dominion. The ascendant god of dominion. The ascendant goddess of dominion. The ascendant goddesses of dominion. The ascendant goddess of dominion. The descendant god of dominion. The descendant gods of dominion. The descendant god of dominion. The descendant goddess of dominion. The descendant goddesses of dominion. The descendant goddess of dominion. The transcendent god of dominion. The transcendent gods of dominion. The transcendent god of dominion. The transcendent goddess of dominion. The transcendent goddesses of dominion. The transcendent goddess of dominion. The past god of dominion. The past gods of dominion. The past god of dominion. The past goddess of dominion. The past goddesses of dominion. The past goddess of dominion. The present god of dominion. The present gods of dominion. The present god of dominion. The present goddess of dominion. The present goddesses of dominion. The present goddess of dominion. The future god of dominion. The future gods of dominion. The future god of dominion. The future goddess of dominion. The future goddesses of dominion. The future goddess of dominion. The authentic god of dominion. The authentic gods of dominion. The authentic god of dominion. The authentic goddess of dominion. The authentic goddesses of dominion. The authentic goddess of dominion. The synthetic god of dominion. The synthetic gods of dominion. The synthetic god of dominion. The synthetic goddess of dominion. The synthetic goddesses of dominion. The synthetic goddess of dominion. The progressive god of dominion. The progressive gods of dominion. The progressive god of dominion. The progressive goddess of dominion. The progressive goddesses of dominion. the progressive goddess of dominion, the regressive god of dominion, the regressive gods of dominion, the regressive god of dominion, the regressive goddess of dominion, the regressive goddesses of dominion, the regressive goddess of dominion, the ordinary god of dominion, the ordinary gods of dominion, the ordinary god of dominion, the ordinary goddess of dominion, the ordinary goddesses of dominion, the ordinary goddess of dominion, the extraordinary god of dominion, the extraordinary gods of dominion, the extraordinary god of dominion, the extraordinary goddess of dominion, the extraordinary goddesses of dominion, the extraordinary goddess of dominion, the static god of dominion, the static gods of dominion, the static god of dominion, the static goddess of dominion, the static goddesses of dominion, the static goddess of dominion, the dynamic god of dominion, the dynamic gods of dominion, the dynamic god of dominion, the dynamic goddess of dominion, the dynamic goddesses of dominion, the dynamic goddess of dominion, the land god of dominion, the land gods of dominion, the land god of dominion, the land goddess of dominion, the land goddesses of dominion, the land goddess of dominion, the sea god of dominion, the sea gods of dominion, the sea god of dominion, the sea goddess of dominion, the sea goddesses of dominion, the sea goddess of dominion, the sky god of dominion, the sky gods of dominion, the sky god of dominion, the sky goddess of dominion, the sky goddesses of dominion, the sky goddess of dominion, the god of dominion, the gods of dominion, the god of dominion, the goddess of dominion, the goddesses of dominion, the goddess of dominion, the half god of dominion, the half gods of dominion, the half god of dominion, the half goddess of dominion, the half goddesses of dominion, the half goddess of dominion, the vessel of dominion, the vessels of dominion, the vessel of dominion, the name of dominion, the names of dominion, the name of dominion, the person of dominion, the persons of dominion, the person of dominion, the persona of dominion, the personas of dominion, the persona of dominion, the personage of dominion, the personages of dominion, the personage of dominion, the personality of dominion, the personalities of dominion, the personality of dominion, the personification of dominion, the personifications of dominion, the personification of dominion, the image of dominion, the images of dominion, the image of dominion, the imagination of dominion, the imaginations of dominion, the imagination of dominion, the belief of dominion, the beliefs of dominion, the belief of dominion, the thought of dominion, the thoughts of dominion, the thought of dominion, the word of dominion, the words of dominion, the word of dominion, the action of dominion, the actions of dominion, the action of dominion, the reaction of dominion, the reactions of dominion, the reaction of dominion, the feeling of dominion, the feelings of dominion, the feeling of dominion, the situation of dominion, the situations of dominion, the situation of dominion, the circumstance of dominion, the circumstances of dominion, the circumstance of dominion, the environment of dominion, the environments of dominion, the environment of dominion, the relationship of dominion, the relationships of dominion, the relationship of dominion, the number of dominion, the numbers of dominion, the number of dominion, the formula of dominion, the formulas of dominion, the formula of dominion, the equation of dominion, the equations of dominion, the equation of dominion, the theory of dominion, the theories of dominion, the theory of dominion, the symbol of dominion, the symbols of dominion, the symbol of dominion, the color of dominion, the colors of dominion, the color of dominion, the thing of dominion, the things of dominion, the thing of dominion, the way of dominion, the ways of dominion, the way of dominion, the place of dominion, the places of dominion, the place of dominion, the time of dominion, the times of dominion, the time of dominion, the event of dominion, the events of dominion, the event of dominion, the result of dominion, the results of dominion, the result of dominion, the crown of dominion, the crowns of dominion, the crown of dominion, the throne of dominion, the thrones of dominion, the throne of dominion, the dominion king, the dominion kings, the dominion kingdom, the dominion kingdoms, the dominion king subject, the dominion king subjects, the dominion king's dominion, the dominion king's dominions, the kingdom of dominion, the kingdoms of dominion, the kingdom of dominion, the dominion queen, the dominion queens, the dominion queendom, the dominion queendoms, the dominion queen subject, the dominion queen subjects, the dominion queen's dominion, the dominion queen's dominions, the queendom of dominion, the queendoms of dominion, the queendom of dominion, the dominion prince, the dominion princes, the dominion princedom, the dominion princedoms, the dominion princes subject, the dominion princes subjects, the dominion princes dominion, the dominion princes dominions, the princedom of dominion, the princedoms of dominion, the princedom of dominion, the dominion princess, the dominion princesses, the dominion princessdom, the dominion princessdoms, the dominion princesses subject, the dominion princesses subjects, the dominion princesses dominion, the dominion princesses dominions, the princessdom of dominion, the princessdoms of dominion, the princessdom of dominion, the lord of dominion, the lords of dominion, the lord of dominion, the lordess of dominion, the lordesses of dominion, the lordess of dominion, the priest of dominion, the priests of dominion, the priest of dominion, the priestess of dominion, the priestesses of dominion, the priestess of dominion, the ritual of dominion, the rituals of dominion, the ritual of dominion, the shrine of dominion, the shrines of dominion, the shrine of dominion, the temple of dominion, the temples of dominion, the temple of dominion, the leader of dominion, the leaders of dominion, the leader of dominion, the follower of dominion, the followers of dominion, the follower of dominion, the natural substance of dominion, the natural substances of dominion, the natural substance of dominion, the supernatural substance of dominion, the supernatural substances of dominion, the supernatural substance of dominion, the temporal substance of dominion, the temporal substances of dominion, the temporal substance of dominion, the spiritual substance of dominion, the spiritual substances of dominion, the spiritual substance of dominion, the natural form of dominion, the natural forms of dominion, the natural form of dominion, the supernatural form of dominion, the supernatural forms of dominion, the supernatural form of dominion, the temporal form of dominion, the temporal forms of dominion, the temporal form of dominion, the spiritual form of dominion, the spiritual forms of dominion, the spiritual form of dominion, the age of dominion, the ages of dominion, the age of dominion, the era of dominion, the eras of dominion, the era of dominion, the awakener of dominion, the awakeners of dominion, the awakener of dominion, the awakening of dominion, the awakenings of dominion, the awakening of dominion, the realm of dominion, the realms of dominion, the realm of dominion, the dimension of dominion, the dimensions of dominion, the dimension of dominion, the zone of dominion, the zones of dominion, the zone of dominion, the frequency of dominion, the frequencies of dominion, the frequency of dominion, the century of dominion, the centuries of dominion, the century of dominion, the millennium of dominion, the millenniums of dominion, the millennium of dominion, the purpose of dominion, the purposes of dominion, the purpose of dominion, the meaning of dominion, the meanings of dominion, the meaning of dominion, the culture of dominion, The cultures of dominion. The culture of dominion. The demonstrator of dominion. The demonstrators of dominion. The demonstrator of dominion. The demonstration of dominion. The demonstrations of dominion. The demonstration of dominion. The manifester of dominion. The manifestors of dominion. The manifester of dominion. The manifestation of dominion. The manifestations of dominion. The manifestation of dominion. The presence of dominion. The presences of dominion. The presence of dominion. The glow of dominion. The glows of dominion. The glow of dominion. The goal of dominion. The goals of dominion. The goal of dominion. The plan of dominion. The plans of dominion. The plan of dominion. The book of dominion. The books of dominion. The book of dominion. The philosopher of dominion. The philosophers of dominion. The philosopher of dominion. The philosophy of dominion. The philosophies of dominion. The philosophy of dominion. The releaser of dominion. The releasers of dominion. The releaser of dominion. The release of dominion. The releases of dominion. The release of dominion. The variable of dominion. The variables of dominion. The variable of dominion. The cause of dominion. The causes of dominion. The cause of dominion. The effect of dominion. The effects of dominion. The effect of dominion. The journey of dominion. The journeys of dominion. The journey of dominion. The emergence of dominion. The emergences of dominion. The emergence of dominion. The source of dominion. The sources of dominion. The source of dominion. The originator of dominion. The originators of dominion. The originator of dominion. The origin of dominion. The origins of dominion. The origin of dominion. The forefather of dominion. The forefathers of dominion. The forefather of dominion. The foremother of dominion. The foremothers of dominion. The foremother of dominion. The ancestor of dominion. The ancestors of dominion. The ancestor of dominion. The descendant of dominion. The descendants of dominion. The descendant of dominion. The lineage of dominion. The lineages of dominion. The lineage of dominion. The heritage of dominion. The heritages of dominion. The heritage of dominion. The heir of dominion. The heirs of dominion. The heir of dominion. The co-heir of dominion. The co-heirs of dominion. The co-heir of dominion. The joint heir of dominion. The joint heirs of dominion. The joint heir of dominion. The dynasty of dominion. The dynasties of dominion. The dynasty of dominion. The force of dominion. The forces of dominion. The force of dominion. The law of dominion. The laws of dominion. The law of dominion. The pact of dominion. The pacts of dominion. The pact of dominion. The game of dominion. The games of dominion. The game of dominion. The mask of dominion. The masks of dominion. The mask of dominion. The armor of dominion. The armors of dominion. The armor of dominion. The sword of dominion. The swords of dominion. The sword of dominion. The shield of dominion. The shields of dominion. The shield of dominion. The force shield of dominion. The force shields of dominion. The force shield of dominion. The armored force shield of dominion. The armored force shields of dominion. The armored force shield of dominion. The champion of dominion. The champions of dominion. The champion of dominion. The guardian of dominion. The guardians of dominion. The guardian of dominion. The defender of dominion. The defenders of dominion. The defender of dominion. The protector of dominion. The protectors of dominion. The protector of dominion. The chant of dominion. The chants of dominion. The chant of dominion. The shape of dominion. The shapes of dominion. The shape of dominion. The cube of dominion. The cubes of dominion. The cube of dominion. The cuboid of dominion. The cuboids of dominion. The cuboid of dominion. The sphere of dominion. The spheres of dominion. The sphere of dominion. The spheroid of dominion. The spheroids of dominion. The spheroid of dominion. The prism of dominion. The prisms of dominion. The prism of dominion. The pyramid of dominion. The pyramids of dominion. The pyramid of dominion. The cylinder of dominion. The cylinders of dominion. The cylinder of dominion. The cone of dominion. The cones of dominion. The cone of dominion. The triangle of dominion. The triangles of dominion. The triangle of dominion. The circle of dominion. The circles of dominion. The circle of dominion. The semicircle of dominion. The semicircles of dominion. The semicircle of dominion. The square of dominion. The squares of dominion. The square of dominion. The rectangle of dominion. The rectangles of dominion. The rectangle of dominion. The parallelogram of dominion. The parallelograms of dominion. The parallelogram of dominion. The rhombus of dominion. The rhombuses of dominion. The rhombus of dominion. The trapezoid of dominion. The trapezoids of dominion. The trapezoid of dominion. The polygon of dominion. The polygons of dominion. The polygon of dominion. The pentagon of dominion. The pentagons of dominion. The pentagon of dominion. The hexagon of dominion. The hexagons of dominion. The hexagon of dominion. The septagon of dominion. The septagons of dominion. The septagon of dominion. The octagon of dominion. The octagons of dominion. The octagon of dominion. The nonagon of dominion. The nonagons of dominion. The nonagon of dominion. The decagon of dominion. The decagons of dominion. The decagon of dominion. The evolution of dominion. The evolutions of dominion. The evolution of dominion. The revolution of dominion. The revolutions of dominion. The revolution of dominion. The elemental art of dominion. The elemental arts of dominion. The elemental art of dominion. The elemental science of dominion. The elemental sciences of dominion. The elemental science of dominion. The elemental principle of dominion. The elemental principles of dominion. The elemental principle of dominion. The elemental technology of dominion. The elemental technologies of dominion. The elemental technology of dominion. The low elemental art of dominion. The low elemental arts of dominion. The low elemental art of dominion. The low elemental science of dominion. The low elemental sciences of dominion. The low elemental science of dominion. The low elemental principle of dominion. The low elemental principles of dominion. The low elemental principle of dominion. The low elemental technology of dominion. The low elemental technologies of dominion. The low elemental technology of dominion. The high elemental art of dominion. The high elemental arts of dominion. The high elemental art of dominion. The high elemental science of dominion. The high elemental sciences of dominion. The high elemental science of dominion. The high elemental principle of dominion. The high elemental principles of dominion. The high elemental principle of dominion. The high elemental technology of dominion. The high elemental technologies of dominion. The high elemental technology of dominion. The agent of dominion. The agents of dominion. The agent of dominion. The agency of dominion. The agencies of dominion. The agency of dominion. The amplifier of dominion. The amplifiers of dominion. The amplifier of dominion. The amplification of dominion. The amplifications of dominion. The amplification of dominion. The enhancer of dominion. The enhancers of dominion. The enhancer of dominion. The enhancement of dominion. The enhancements of dominion. The enhancement of dominion. The magnifier of dominion. The magnifiers of dominion. The magnifier of dominion. The magnification of dominion. The magnifications of dominion. The magnification of dominion. The influencer of dominion. The influencers of dominion. The influencer of dominion. The influence of dominion. The influences of dominion. The influence of dominion. The emanator of dominion. The emanators of dominion. The emanator of dominion. The emanation of dominion. The emanations of dominion. The emanation of dominion. The converger of dominion. The convergers of dominion. The converger of dominion. The convergence of dominion. The convergences of dominion. The convergence of dominion. The aura of dominion. The auras of dominion. The aura of dominion. The impression of dominion. The impressions of dominion. The impression of dominion. The intelligence of dominion. The intelligences of dominion. The intelligence of dominion. The sophistication of dominion. The sophistications of dominion. The sophistication of dominion. The genius of dominion. The geniuses of dominion. The genius of dominion. The polymath of dominion. The polymaths of dominion. The polymath of dominion. The psychic of dominion. The psychics of dominion. The psychic of dominion. The knowledge of dominion. The knowledges of dominion. The knowledge of dominion. The understanding of dominion. The understandings of dominion. The understanding of dominion. The wisdom of dominion. The wisdoms of dominion. The wisdom of dominion. The secret of dominion. The secrets of dominion. The secret of dominion. The mystery of dominion. The mysteries of dominion. The mystery of dominion. The revelation of dominion. The revelations of dominion. The revelation of dominion. The tactic of dominion. The tactics of dominion. The tactic of dominion. The strategy of dominion. The strategies of dominion. The strategy of dominion. The strength of dominion. The strengths of dominion. The strength of dominion. The might of dominion. The mights of dominion. The might of dominion. The power of dominion. The powers of dominion. The power of dominion. The authority of dominion. The authorities of dominion. The authority of dominion. The dominion of dominion. The dominions of dominion. The dominion of dominion. The rhythm of dominion. The rhythms of dominion. The rhythm of dominion. The melody of dominion. The melodies of dominion. The melody of dominion. The music of dominion. The musics of dominion. The music of dominion. The lyric of dominion. The lyrics of dominion. The lyric of dominion. The song of dominion. The songs of dominion. The song of dominion. The dance of dominion. The dances of dominion. The dance of dominion. The spirit of dominion. The spirits of dominion. The spirit of dominion. The soul of dominion. The souls of dominion. The soul of dominion. The body of dominion. The bodies of dominion. The body of dominion. The mark of dominion. The marks of dominion. The mark of dominion. The promise of dominion. The promises of dominion. The promise of dominion. The visionary of dominion. The visionaries of dominion. The visionary of dominion. The vision of dominion. The visions of dominion. The vision of dominion. The picture of dominion. The pictures of dominion. The picture of dominion. The sound of dominion. The sounds of dominion. The sound of dominion. The tongue of dominion. The tongues of dominion. The tongue of dominion. The language of dominion. The languages of dominion. The language of dominion. The communication of dominion. The communications of dominion. The communication of dominion. The people of dominion. The peoples of dominion. The people of dominion. The society of dominion. The societies of dominion. The society of dominion. The fortress of dominion. The fortresses of dominion. The fortress of dominion. The government of dominion. The governments of dominion. The government of dominion. The city of dominion. The cities of dominion. The city of dominion. The nation of dominion. The nations of dominion. The nation of dominion. The civilization of dominion. The civilizations of dominion. The civilization of dominion. The world of dominion. The worlds of dominion. The world of dominion.